welcome to the channel. As we get into the March brown season, the trout will be looking up as the nymphs rise and become emergers into ephemeras. Now the March brown is one of those flies that's absolutely essential in your fly box at the beginning of the season. The March brown season can go on for several months through into April, and depending upon your river and your environment, even later. So today I'm going to tie the March brown emerger, and in the vise I have a size 12 dry fly hook. The March brown is not a small fly, and you can certainly tie this in a 10 or even an 8 depending upon your particular area. Now I'm going to be tying with brown 10-0 thread, and I'm going to start that back from the eye and wind on the thread and trim up the tying thread. Now for the shuck I'm going to use some silk, and this is a light beige silk. I'm going to tie that in. Just pull that back to length. Tie it down and tie it down to the rear of the fly. Like so. Now the length of the shuck, not longer than the length of the fly, so something of that nature. Now I'm using silk because this will sink in the water, and it will allow the back end of the fly to go below the surface of the water, with the front end being supported by the wing. Now for the body I'm going to use some turkey tail. This is white tip turkey tail. I'm just going to take out a slip of fibers, something like that, and trim them up. And I'm going to square off the points for tying in and tie in the turkey tail. I'm going to pull that to length and tie down the fibers up to the thorax area, and I'm going to wind on the body material. Touching turns as you go up the body. Up to the thorax area, and tie off the turkey. And trim up the excess. Right, now I'm going to put an underwing on this fly, and I'm going to use this brown poly yarn, which will certainly help it float. I'll just snip off a piece. And I'm going to double that in half. And tie it in on top, pull it to length, and tie it down. And trim up the poly yarn to about halfway down the tail, like so. Now for the over wing I'm going to use some CDC, and I've got 2 CDC feathers here. I've just married up the points, and I'm going to tie those in on top as the over wing. wrap underneath. I'm going to trim up the CDC. Just tidy up here. Like so. Now for the thorax, I'm going to use some mixed hair. Now when I say mixed hair, it is generally mixed by me, and it has hare's ear, hare's mask, fox squirrel, rabbit and grey squirrel all mixed into it, and it creates a good mix of different lengths and different fibres. Right, so let's see if we have sufficient here. I will be brushing it out, and I'm going to tie off the fly using a half hitch tool. And trim up the tying thread. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of glue onto the knot just to secure it. Make sure the eye is clear. And I'm going to brush out, oops, I'm going to brush out the thorax. Give it plenty of leggy appeal. And there you have a March brown emerger. There, that's the finished fly. Now this fly will float all day. There will be no concerns about it sinking. If you want to put a little bit of floatant on the thorax area, that's fine. But with the underwing and the overwing, you shouldn't have any problem with the fly sinking. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, which is never far away. Bye.